Welcome to the state television campaign in Western Armenia, broadcast for today. The speech of the Speaker of the Government of Western Armenia on the state recognition of Western Armenia in 1917, 1920 and 1924. Islam and the genocide committed against Armenians. Henry Kuellar is accused in the lobbying of the interest of Baku. Denial Immutable changes. The US ambassador in Baku refused to go to Shushi. Support the television campaign in Western Armenia. On May 4, the Speaker of the Government of the Republic of Western Armenia, Armine Sahakyan, gave a speech. In her speech, she referred to the important events that took place during the weekend of the Government of the Republic of Western Armenia. She reminded that on April 27, the commemoration ceremony was held for the victims of the genocide against Armenians in the territory of Tsitsernakabert Memorial Complex, which is organized every year by the Government of the Republic of Western Armenia. At the event were present the President of the National Council of Western Armenia, Armine, the Chairwoman of the Parliament of the Republic of Western Armenia, Nelia Harutyunyan, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Western Armenia, Vartan Simonyan, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Western Armenia, Arman Hakopyan, the Speaker of the Republic of Western Armenia, Armine Sahakyan, the Deputies of National Assembly, citizens of Western Armenia. The Speaker also mentioned in her speech that starting from April 21, commemoration ceremonies for the victims of genocide against Armenians were held in the different corners of the world. The Speaker noted that on the same day, on April 27, the first President of the Republic of Western Armenia, Mr. Armine, had a briefing with the correspondent of Western Armenia TV and presented his predictions regarding the events taking place in the region and emphasized that all these events are related to the Republic of Western Armenia. On the state recognition of Western Armenia in 1917, 1920 and 1924. Every year, many interesting, important and turning events take place in different parts of the world, which changes the course of history. New names are born that will leave their names in history. Prominent figures die, new works appear, new discoveries are made, new history is written. In Armenian reality, the years 1917, 1919 and 1920 are distinguished by several events. In 1917, on December 29, Western Armenia was first recognized as a state by Russia. This period is evaluated in the historiography as a step aimed at bringing the region to a normal state. That is, ensuring a balance between the Armenians and the Muslim population as a continuation of the Armenian without Armenians policy of the Tsarist authorities. It is stated that for the Russian authorities, regardless of the regime change, it was preferable to have a small but calm and safe Armenia, and giving Armenians the opportunity to return to their homelands is considered the only way to save the Caucasian front, to transfer the burden of the front line to the local population, because the Russian soldier was tired and did not want to fight anymore. According to this policy, Western Armenia gained statehood with the prospect to become a place to unite all Armenians from all over the world. However, the overthrow of the provisional government radically changed Russia's attitude towards both Western Armenia, the Caucasian Front and the Allies, as a result of which everything failed. Already in 1919, on May 15, after the formation of the government under the chairmanship of Boris Nubar, on January 19, 1920, the Supreme Council of the Allied Powers actually recognized the existence of the state of Armenia in the territory of Western Armenia. And we will tell about the year 1920 in our upcoming series of articles. Henry Kuellar is accused of lobbying the interest of Baku. A year ago, when Western Armenia TV presented Armenian Identity, Armenian Islam as the Women's series, noted that the young Turks used Islam as a tool in the process of genocide against Armenians. Turkish politicians incited religious fanaticism in an attempt to bolster their anti-Armenian rhetoric. Armenians were presented as enemies of Islam, and thus an attempt was made to strengthen the justification for the destruction of the Armenian nation. The idea of jihad was also manipulated in order to strengthen anti-Armenian feelings. In our new series, we will understand in more details how much the factor of Islam was in the genocide performed against the Armenians. First Arab leader during that period, including Sharif Hussein, strongly opposed this approach, questioning the ideas of the young Turks. It should be noted that during genocidal acts, the religious difference sometimes becomes a characteristic that differentiates the victims from the executions. Cooper, a professor of the University of California, sociologist dealing with the issues of the genocide against the Armenians, considers the existence existence of the religious difference between the victims and the perpetrators of the crime to be one of the general characteristics of the genocide. Religious difference is often superimposed on other elements of differentiation: race, ethnicity, cultural heritage, participation in economic and political life, inequality in the protection of human rights, and segregation of territorial concentration. Religious affiliation becomes part of social status and often contributes to alienation from other groups in the multi-layered structures of society. Reuters International News Agency writes that U.S. Congressman Henry Kuellar and his wife are accused of accepting nearly $600,000 in bribes in favor of Baku State Energy Company, which was transferred through an unnamed bank in Mexico. This is evidenced by court documents. The indictment alleges that the bribes were laundered through fraudulent consulting contracts through companies owned by the congressman's wife, Imelda Kuellar, from December 2014 through at least November 2021. For a week, Western Armenia TV presented to you the research of work Mario Hovanesyan, Executive Director of Zodian Institute, International Research and Development Foundation of Eastern Armenia, where it was mentioned that the Hamidian regime is the founder of the main thesis of genocide denial. In the next topic, we will try to understand the changes in the genocide denial strategy against the Armenians in different significant periods. They are basically four. The first, 1920s, titled "No Such Things Has Happened." In 1916s, we massacred no one. 1917 up to 18th, we were betrayed. And 2000, war conditions, fear, memory, common pain. Although Turkish denial has undergone changes in different geopolitical, historical, or social contexts, it has been active or passive for a century. Turkish denial policy can be summed up in this formulation: immutable changes. Denial is the last stage of the genocide, and as long as it continues, the genocide continues as well. Therefore, the genocide started on the Ottoman Empire, and even though Turkey does not consider itself responsible for what happened, it continues the work started by its own ancestors with a denial attitude. The U.S. ambassador in Baku refused to go to Shushi. Mark Libby, the U.S. ambassador to Baku, spoke about this refusal to go to Shushi in an interview given by the Azerbaijan service of Azatutsun radio station. It is clear that the returned territories are slightly different. Even more coordination is needed here. However, I don't want to be part of someone's show, so I can travel somewhere. So when the time comes to do that, I will do that. Now support the television company of Western Armenia. I want to remind that the television company of Western Armenia, being loyal to its principles and viewers, continues its uninterrupted work with new approaches. As you already know, our television does not engage in self-promotion. It broadcasts mainly political and other context related to the history, present and future of Western Armenia, as well as news raising various issues. We also present the political transition of the President of the Republic of Western Armenia, the government, the National Assembly, and other structures in a transparent and accessible manner. Dear compatriots, with your support, the possibilities of our television will be further expanded and strengthened. We are strong together. This was all for today. Goodbye.
Yeah.